Have you seen the headlines claiming Canada is shutting down the road to Alaska? They sound dramatic. Canada closes U.S. access to Alaska. But here's the truth, none of that is happening. The border is still open, no blockade, no closure. So why is everyone talking about this? Because something is brewing between the U.S. and Canada, and it could hit Alaskans right in the wallet. The viral claim is simple. Canada has slammed the door on Alaska, but that's fiction. The Alaska Highway is open, personal and commercial travel is allowed. Ferries are running, air routes are unchanged. So if no one has closed the border, why all the outrage? Because of a plan that could make a big difference for anyone depending on goods flowing up to the last frontier. Here's what actually happened. British Columbia, the Canadian province you have to cross to reach Alaska by road, announced it plans to impose tolls on Alaska-bound commercial trucks. That's right, not cars, not tourists, not RVs, trucks. Why? To retaliate against U.S. trade threats. In early March, Washington floated new tariffs on Canadian exports, echoing earlier moves in steel, aluminum, and agriculture. In response, BC officials said essentially, if you raise costs on us, we can raise costs on you. Premier David Eby framed it bluntly. We're not going to stand by while new tariffs hurt Canadian families and workers. If that means using our infrastructure as leverage, we will. This isn't isolationism. It's political chess, a pressure tactic aimed at Washington, not at Alaskans. But Alaska, because of geography, is caught in the crossfire. So why does it matter? Because Alaska depends on that road more than most people realize. Most freight for Alaska does arrive by ship through Seattle or Tacoma, then travels by sea to Anchorage. But the Alaska Highway, the 1,500-mile route running through British Columbia and the Yukon, is a vital lifeline for high-value, time-sensitive cargo, fresh produce, auto parts, oil field equipment, medical supplies, things that can't wait for a slow marine schedule. Truckers use this route every single day. And if tolls kick in, their costs rise. That could mean higher prices for Alaskans and added headaches for businesses already dealing with thin margins and high logistics costs. Could companies just switch to ships? Not easily. Shipping routes are limited, schedules are tight, and infrastructure in Alaska can only handle so much additional cargo. Some freight would move, sure, but it would slow down supply chains and push prices even higher. And here's another wrinkle. International agreements may restrict Canada's ability to toll a transnational highway. The Alaska Highway, after all, was built during World War II as part of a joint U.S.-Canada defense effort. It's historically significant, and its free use has been part of trade norms for decades. If BC goes too far, legal battles are almost certain. Now, let's talk about what isn't happening. Canada isn't closing the Alaska Highway. There's no ban on Americans traveling to Alaska. There's no blockade or armed standoff at the border. So why does it feel like a crisis? Because sensational headlines spread faster than facts. People see Canada shuts down Alaska route and panic clicks follow. Remember, even during COVID, the most restrictive period in modern history, Canadians still allowed Alaskans through under strict rules and time limits. A total closure, extremely unlikely. To understand why Canada is taking this step, we need to look at the bigger picture, trade politics. This isn't happening in a vacuum. For decades, the US and Canada have sparred over tariffs and market access. Lumber, dairy, auto parts, these fights are old. Just a few years ago, under NAFTA renegotiations, both sides threatened heavy tariffs. Now, with new tariff talk coming from Washington, Canada is signaling we can hit back where it hurts supply chains. Transportation access is the new front line, and Alaska, because of its location, is the perfect pressure point. It's remote. It relies on a single overland route. That makes it vulnerable. So here's the bottom line. Canada isn't cutting Alaska off from the US. It's not a border crisis. It's a toll fight, a trade battle in disguise. But it raises an important question. How vulnerable is Alaska's economy to political games played thousands of miles away? And what happens if this escalates, if tariffs lead to counter-tariffs and tolls become reality? What do you think? Should Canada use tolls as leverage? Or does that risk making things worse for everyone, especially Alaskans who aren't part of this fight? Let us know in the comments.